What's up guys, it's Bucky. Welcome to your 12th Java tutorial, and in this tutorial I'm going to be teaching you guys about something called a switch statement. Now what a switch statement does is test one variable, and depending on the value of that variable, pretty much it gives you multiple choices. So before we learn the switch statement, let me show you what we had to do with our knowledge so far. Let's make like a program that tells you what kids do at a certain age. So say we have a program that has a variable called age, and the kid's age is 3 right now. What we would have to do right now is make an if statement for each age and put if age is equal to 1, and then we would have to put something like system, then we would put out and stuff like that, and it would just get a pain in the butt. And then we would have, after 1, we would put if age is equal to 2 and then do your stuff down here. And as you can see, we don't want to type all that stuff for each number, so I wish there was an easier way just to test age for a bunch of different things. Well, actually, you don't have to write 10 different if statements if you want to test age 10 times. You can only write something called a switch statement once, and it will give you many different options. So instead of writing 10 different if statements to see what a kid does from ages 1 to 10, let me show you guys what to do. What you do is write the word switch, and what switch does is find the variable value in the parameters. So what variable do we want to test? We want to test age. So after this, you just go ahead and write curly braces and give yourself a nice little switch body. Now instead of writing a bunch of if statements, all you would have to do is write, they're called cases. Now what case means is if the value of age is equal to 1, what do we want to do? And after case 1, go ahead and put a regular colon. And I don't know if you guys can see this, but this is a regular colon after the 1 and not a semicolon. So in the case of 1, let's go ahead and system out print line. So what can they do at 1? You can crawl. And then after this, you want to add something called break. Now what break does is it means, alright, if this is true and age equals 1, then we have no reason to go to the rest of the program, so you can just exit. And I'll be talking about that more later, but for now, just make sure you have it. So you can just repeat this for as many options as you want. So in the case of 2, what do we want to happen? Let's just copy this. Copy, save yourself some time. You can talk. So in the case of 2, if age equals 2, what do we want to do? We want to print you can talk and then break. And let's go ahead and make one more. In the case of 3, again, using lazy, don't feel like typing at all. In the case of 3, you can get in trouble. And I know I spelled trouble wrong, but just deal with it. So here's what you do. You put switch and then put the variable you want to test the value of. Then you put the values that are possible after the word case. Now after, in the case body, what you do is write, alright, if age is equal to 1, here's what I want you to do. If age is equal to 2, here's what I want you to do. If age is equal to 3, here's what I want you to do. And the last thing you have in every switch statement is something called a default. And to do that, you just write default. And what this does is if none of those values are true, it does a default statement. So let me scroll up a little bit so you can see. And again, you don't need a value for this like default 4, because it already knows, alright, if everything else is false, this is what you're going to do. So that's why you don't need a value. So let's go ahead and write, actually let me go ahead and copy this since I'm lazy. Copy. If default, let's go ahead and write, I don't know how old you are. I don't know how old you are. And of course we have a break at the end of this as well. If I can get it right. Break. So let's go ahead and run this with age equal to 3, and let me show you guys what it does. It outputs you can get in tolerable. and it's supposed to be treble, but I typed it wrong. So, and let me recap. Well, let me show you guys what default does. So if age isn't equal to 1, 2, or 3, say age is equal to 7, and I run this, it says, I don't know how old you are. So let me recap one last time what this switch statement does. A switch statement takes the variable, whatever is in its condition, and tests it. So then it looks through the cases to see what value that variable is equal to. If it's equal to the value 1, it prints this. If not, it doesn't do it at all. Then it looks if it's equal to the value 2. If it is, it prints this. If not, then it skips this as well. Then it looks if it's equal to the variable 3. If it is, it prints this. If not, again, it skips all of these. And then if it doesn't hit any one of these, then it goes default. And what default means is I ran through all these options and none of them worked. So by default, I got to do something. This can't be just a waste of a program. So by default, I want to output I don't know how old you are. So that is how you can use the switch statement to test a single variable for many different values. And this will save you a bunch of time and keep you from writing a bunch of different if statements. And trust me, it's a whole lot easier than writing a bunch of if statements. So that's your basic on the switch statement. It will save you a bunch of time. So thank you guys for watching. Hopefully you learned a little something. Copy this, play around with it, and pretty soon you'll be an expert at the switch statement. So again, thank you guys for watching. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you next tutorial.